analysis of the trauma and psychoanalysis of shunning and being exiled and left for, you know, in the 17th century. That's a big topic for its own essay or book. That's not what I'm writing about right now for my first essay, although you might be getting the sense I think I'm going to be writing about this for a while. I have a lot of parts of this story that I plan on exploring. So, like I said, Spinoza having been exiled is not the central focus of my writing right now, but I did want to share an excerpt that I found particularly moving in that context. So, this excerpt is from Spinoza's first known work, which is the Treatise on the Emendation of the Intellect. I'm reading Spinoza's complete works as translated by Shirley and published 2022, and I'm definitely going to share all those resources when I get everything up on Substack. This piece is unfinished, and it's thought that he went on to fine-tune the ideas he started fleshing out in this early work in his masterpiece, The Ethics. So it's incomplete, and he was very young when he wrote it. We can assume he was in his teens, probably early teens. I'm not sure exactly what age. I'm not sure if we know exactly when he wrote this, but we know it was around the time or shortly after his exile, when he was still a young adolescent. I'm not talking 25, 30 is still an adolescent. I mean, he was still a teenager, and I think people need to remember that he was a child when he was exiled and forced to go on this path of self-discovery. I only suspect that this excerpt is a reflection on Spinoza being exiled from his community, and I also want to point out that this makes me think it's not so much that his ideas got him exiled, although that is also true, but I also see in this excerpt a strong indication that the exile forced him into a situation that he had to adapt in order to survive. And so part of what shaped him, I believe, is how he responded to this trauma. I seemed set on losing a certain good for the sake of an uncertain good, but after a little reflection, I first of all realized that I abandoned the old ways and embarked on a new way of life. I should be abandoning a good way that was by its very nature uncertain, as we can clearly gather from what has been said, in favor of one that was uncertain not of its own nature, for I was seeking permanent good, but only in respect of its attainment. Then persistent meditation enabled me to see that, if only I could be thoroughly resolute, I should be abandoning a certain evils for the sake of a certain good. For I saw that my situation was one of great peril, and that I was obliged to seek a remedy for all my might, however uncertain it might be, like a sick man suffering from a fatal malady, who foreseeing certain, unless a remedy is forthcoming, is forced to seek it, however uncertain it be.